Welcome back to my channel, weirdos. My name is Catherine, and this is Stayweirdreactions. So this is a channel that's based on Riverdale and all things Riverdale and their cast members. So today is Borrasca Mondays. Today the first episode of Borrasca came out. I'm about to listen to it. I'm going to film me reacting to it on my phone, so that way I'll insert some things in, and then stay tuned for after, when I'm going to do a full review and talk about it. And so that way if there are some people that don't want to listen to it because they think it's going to be a little too creepy, I'll go through everything. So spoiler alert from this point forward. Just finished listening to it and I wrote some notes and I wrote some theories down. I'm so excited. So I loved it. I loved the first episode. It's very, this episode wasn't as creepy and thrillery. This was just setting up the story, which I enjoyed. I can only imagine what the next few episodes are going to be when it comes to how creepy and scary it's gonna get. So Cole plays Sam, Sam Walker, and we hear him first as an adult, and he's on parole, so that means he was in jail for something we don't know yet. So when you're on parole, you need to be taking drug tests, and you meet with your parole officer. However, they have a set depending on what it is. And he has to go see therapists to talk about what happened, and he won't talk about it. He's gone through 6 parole officers or 6 therapists in 4 months, which is so many. You usually have the same parole officer, your entire time on parole, so that means they are just not working for him. So he finally gets this one parole officer that's here's our deal. If you tell me exactly what happened, you will just have to come in, pee, drop off your urine sample, and leave. Make sure you're clean. And Sam has said multiple times, he's I've been clean this entire time. Why do I have to keep talking about this? I don't want to talk about it. But it's part of his parole to have him open up, because I guess he's really something happened, and that'll go to my theories later. So it's so funny, everyone's freaking out on Twitter about Cole cursing, and it's hilarious because he sounds so hot. I'm going to insert a clip right here about my reaction the first time.
Oh my god, he sounds so good.
You read my file. You know what happened?
I know about the car accident, the prescription opiates, the resulting heroin addiction, and the arrest.
Yeah, well, that's everything.
My baby.
So he's on parole for drugs, probably, if he has to keep going for drug tests, for urine samples. So he's probably on for drugs. And we find out in the beginning that it says that Whitney, his sister, was in a car accident. Hey y'all, so Editing Catherine here, and I just want to let you know that I made a bit of a mistake. So it's not that she got into a car accident, I think he got into a car accident, which made him go into parole. But stay to the end for my theories. Obviously, as the episode moves along, you kind of get that it might not have been that. So if he tells what happened, he doesn't have to talk again. He just has to go in and out, which is what he wants. So he decides to do it. His family moved to this new town when he was 12 years old. And Whitney is 4 years older than him. We know Whitney is 16. We find that out, and we know his parents are Elizabeth and Graham Walker. Graham, his dad, is the new sheriff's deputy in town, and we find out that there is a missing persons case that is active for Laura Furnell. Right? We meet the next door neighbors, who have a son named Kyle, who's the same age as Sam, so 12. They're all going into 7th grade. This is the summer before 7th grade for them. And then we also meet a girl named Kimber. Kyle's one of those classic best friends that are just oh my god, your sister's hot, and it's hilarious. The little boy that's playing Kyle is very good. And we hear from Whitney has a friend named Krista, and she is talking about how she can't hang out with Whitney that night because she's going to a party. And that party is up by Ambercott Fort, which they realize is by Borrasca, or it's like a Borrasca party is what they call it. And Sam keeps asking, what is Borrasca? What is Ambercott Fort? And then they only say a place where bad things happen. We don't find out until a little bit later, not even like the whole thing, which is so interesting. Like that we're going to keep guessing what is actually happening. We also hear a scream, and they call it the scream, and it's just it's a monstrous scream. Like if I have the recording, I will put it in. I don't think I do. I don't think I was recording at that time. And they have a thing called Scream Nights. So when the thing screams, that's when they know the monster's there. Now, all the kids think this is just a tall tale, like an urban legend to have parents make sure that their kids aren't going and getting high and drinking and going up to this place. We find out that there is a triple tree up by Ambercott Fort, so up near Borrasca, that has names carved into it. And it's usually whoever's names are carved into the tree. This is the legend, that if your name is carved into the tree, that means you're going to get taken by the skin men and brought to the monster. And then there's a tree house. And Sam is like such a curious kid. He wants to know everything about every little thing. It could be a way to fit in, but I think it's also he's just curious. And he's like, this is weird. Like something is happening. So him and Kyle and Kimber go up to the trail. He finally convinces the two of them to go. So they go up, and it's like miles away. We hear a name Prescott. Jimmy Prescott is the kid, and then the father owns like half the town. And I think that's a name that's going to keep recurring. So I wrote that down because I'm like, Prescott, that's going to be important. They make a deal amongst them that they're never going to go to a Borrasca party. Kimber made a deal with her parents, like promise them that she'll never go. So she made them promise her that they will never go. And they all agreed, which I think is very good. She's a very good friend. So the monsters live on the mountain, is what they say. And the skin men see your name on the tree, and they bring you to the monster. And literally in the middle of this, like in the middle of Kyle and Kimber telling Sam this up in the treehouse. They make it up to the treehouse. They finally find it's a rock with a 1 on it. They say it's a mile marker. Everything starts shaking, and you hear like it coming up. That I will insert right here because you see my face. I'm like, oh my god.
I'm ready to get out of here. Me too.
Holy shit.
And then we also hear that there's a rhyme, a way to remember the story that they all know. Kyle can remember it, and then after all of this, like Kimber's like shook in the corner, like not like shook, like oh my god I'm shook, like she's shaken up by everything, and she remembers it, and she starts saying it, and then we cut back to adult Sam. So we cut back to who Cole is playing, and he goes, I'm done. I can't talk about this anymore for today. So that means he will come back. But the parole officer still has so many questions. She's like, what is this? What is this? And she even says, what is Borrasca? And that's when you get like the really hot, like raspy voice right here.
What does all of that mean? What does any of this have to do with Whitney?
It has everything to do with her.
What was Borrasca?
Place where bad things happen.
Did bad things happen to Whitney?
A place where bad things happen. So it was like so hot. And he leaves, and before he leaves, she goes, "Will I see you next week?" And he goes, "Yeah." So he agrees to go back to continue telling his story. So I think that's why it's pretty cool that it's going to go bi-weekly, because we're going to be able to see him tell the story as Sam would have to a parole officer. Then we go back, and we actually hear him in his apartment, which is so interesting. I did not think we were going to get like a behind the scenes of who Sam is as a person. I thought we were just going to like have him tell a story, but I think this really adds a depth to it, and it really helps hear the character as an adult, and it's so interesting. So he has a roommate. I think the roommate's name is Eric. I'm going to double check. Yeah, so it's Eric. That's when we get probably one of my favorite, like a few of my favorite lines is in this like last like 2 minutes where we really find a lot of stuff out about who Sam is, which I think is fascinating. So we hear he's an ex-felon. So him and his roommate Eric, they're ex-felons, and the roommate is asking him, like, oh, you're actually gonna talk to this woman, like, they got to you, like, you're finally gonna do this. And he goes, I can't remember everything. And he goes, well, I do. And he goes, you don't know shit, like, what are you talking about? He goes, I know more than you think, because you talk in your sleep. So that means Sam has been having nightmares of this for years. And one of my favorite lines that Cole says is, as long as I don't remember when I'm awake, I don't care. And I was like, oh my God, that's such a good line. Like, to think about, like, if you have nightmares, as long as you don't remember when you're awake, who cares, right? Sam is using Eric's pee to get off parole, which happens a lot in, like, the world. Like, you find someone who's clean and you use their pee to pass your drug tests, and then you go and get high. And he does get high at the end. He starts inhaling among, so it's like the water and the flame, and we don't know what kind of drug it is. It could be different things. It could be crack. It could be weed. We don't know. And then ends with him relaxing while getting high, which is interesting. Theory time. So, this is what I think. So, I don't know if it's too obvious that Whitney is going to go to a Borrasca party and go missing. But I feel like that's what's going to happen. I feel like that's where we're leading up to. We wouldn't have all this information about these if that isn't what happened. Or was it actually a car accident? I don't know. I honestly think that it was. She went. And I think the reason why Sam's on parole is because he got convicted of Whitney's murder. That's what I think. It's a stretch, but this is what I think could happen. What I think could happen is that Whitney goes and Sam finds out, and he then goes to try and stop her and save her. Maybe he saw her name, and then he finds out that she's going to a party, and then he wants to, like, make sure she's safe. Because we hear both young and adult Sam scream Whitney's name. They know, like, he knows what happened to her. And, like, a felon, that's a heavy charge. Like, that's not just, like, a drug charge. Like, yeah, you're a felon if you're selling drugs or something, but, like, to be on parole for that, like, something is up. So I really do think Sam is the one that gets accused of Whitney's murder. Maybe they think it was a car accident and all that stuff, but that is what I think is going to happen. I think Whitney's actually going to become in Borrasca Monsters. They don't believe him. They don't believe Sam when he says it, and so they just accuse Sam of her murder. And I think that is very interesting. Oh my God. So some of my favorite moments. So Cole sounds so hot. Like, he's so raspy, and I'm just like, oh, Jesus. When he says no, it reminds me of, like, season 1 Jughead when Geller takes him in for murdering Jason, which was such a bizarre storyline. Tune into one episode coming out, like one video coming up where I'm going to talk about crazy things that happen on Riverdale. But yeah, like, it's very funny. Like, I found myself laughing a little bit, which is good. I also have a dark sense of humor, so I find stuff like this, like, kind of funny, but I actually wasn't that scared, which I enjoy, because I'm not a horror fan. I don't like horror movies. All my friends make fun of me because, like, they'll watch a horror movie, and I'm like, no, I don't want it, and I just, like, cuddle up, But, yeah, I am so excited for next week's episode, and when we find out more about this mystery. So I posted on my Instagram. So my Instagram is Stayweirdreactions, and I have another Instagram, my personal Instagram, that I will put in all below. But I put my summer video schedule, and so Mondays are going to be Borrasca, for now until it's over. Tuesdays is going to be Theory Tuesdays. It's going to be Riverdale theories. It's very exciting. New episode Wednesdays, so we're going to be celebrating what would be new episodes of Riverdale on Wednesdays. So it's going to be favorites and rankings and stuff like that. And then Throwback Thursdays will be reviews of my favorite episodes. So that I'm very excited about. So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please make sure you like and subscribe. My name is Catherine. All of my information, all my Twitter and Instagram stuff is all in the description below. Make sure you subscribe to Borrasca on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget, stay weird, Riverheads.